Hi guys, so welcome to issues 88, 89, 90. Now, when you read descriptions of what's coming, obviously that doesn't do any justice. What I was expecting was the first rear door. Look at what I got. That's huge.
The road from coast to coast, Yorkie and me rolling on. 'Cause a long day's run can be short on fun without Yorkie to help me along.
Right, sorry, I apologise. I was trying to cheat and get 2 packets ready. I was trying to get this and the next issue. So I've accidentally spoiled issue 89, but it's exactly the same as 88 by the looks of things. I haven't looked at the magazine, but let's do a parts check as always. That is incredible. I say incredible, I haven't built it yet, so it might be goddamn awful. Right, so first rear door, 88-1. Oh, that's surprisingly, that's plastic. I thought that was metal. Mind you, it doesn't weigh enough to be metal anyway. Right, second piece, left side frame for rear door, and that is metal. So that's rather nice. And then we have got 4 door hinges. So let's get those out of the bag. Nice touch that they put them in the bag. Don't know if we need it in the bag, but there we go. And then we have got DD09 and DP10 screws. So this looks like it's going to be a very simple issue. So we get this right, so the hinges are going to go along there, and this is going to be 4 bits that are obviously going to be exactly the same. So what we want to do is place, you see that the hinge has got a longer bit and a shorter bit. The longer bit is going, that's not going on the outside, is it? Wow, I'm surprised at that. Right, so fix the hinge in place with DP10 screws. So I'm going to need my tiny screwdriver for this. So now I'm going to be honest with you guys. This looks like one of those situations where I want to do one hinge fully showing you what I'm doing, and then I do the other 3 hinges with a sped up edited version. But I don't edit my videos. I run them, I record them in what I call as live. They're not live, but I'm recording it. So as I put this in, it means that instead I've got to find something to fill the blank noise with. So I'm going to have to keep talking about something, and then obviously I've got to do this all over again. Right, that's the first hinge in place. So what we're going to do is we're going to work our way down. Do you know what? There's a right and a wrong way to do these. I think I've accidentally put that in right. I think. Right, let me show you these 2 hinges. Oh yes, you can't put them in wrong. So where you've got the peg is a different size hole. So if you put this hinge in the wrong way, it just won't go in. But can you see the difference in the shape of the actual hingey bit? This is running that way, and that's running the ugly side. So you can only put them in one way. So guys, what shall we talk about for the next however long it takes me to do these hinges? So I have been filming a lot of these episodes. I've actually got another part work coming out, I think next week, which I filmed 11 episodes in one sitting. I don't know if it was 11 videos. I think it's definitely 11 issues, but some of them were double issues. I think there was about 9 or 10 videos in total. I sat down last night and recorded loads of Eddie Stobart's, and it was quite interesting, because one of the things that I said at the beginning of the first video was, it's been so long since I've done Eddie Stobart that you kind of get into a way of thinking, and it just I can't think of a better word, maybe this is the best word, but mojo. You kind of, you know, when you sit down, if you do 4 issues and you really get going, and then you've run out of issues to do, and you're like, oh, I want more to do. You know, I'm really in that building Eddie Stobart mode. Well, I'd worried that I was fallen out of that train of thought, and by the time I built about 2 issues, I'm like, I want to build them all, and I just built one after the other filming, and I got to about 1 o'clock in the morning, and I just thought, I can't do any more. So I went to bed, and I got up about 6 o'clock this morning, did all my things that I need to do in the morning. It's currently 8 o'clock in the morning and I'm filming this, and I've not got that many issues to do. I think I'm on issue 88. This is 88, so I'm doing 88 and 89 and 90, and I think I'm up to issue 94, and then by the time you're watching this video, I think I've worked out that by doing double episodes the way that I am, when you're watching this, I'm about 20 issues behind. That number might be wrong by 1 or 2. So I wonder if yeah, about another 10 weeks I'll probably be caught up. Right, so there's a door with 4 hinges, looking sweet. So now what we want to do is we want to take the left frame, and we want to place the left frame so that we see the inside, and we want to place the door, and we are going to fit the hinges onto there like that. So this is the behind, and this is going to be a simpler job. I've got a cat on my lap. So if anybody's seen that TikTok song, I can't go to work today, I got a cat on my lap, you're fired. I don't care, I got a cat on my lap. Right, so let's pop just 2 in so that they just grab. Do you know what? So I mentioned in another video, I think I managed to, I said it in a channel update, I said I'd had a bit of bad luck. I'd got Shadow a companion who sadly died after 8 months, and I didn't, there's the hinges, so obviously there's going to be a handle on there. Those 2 hinges aren't in at all, which I'm going to do those now. Now you don't really need to put these on enough to bite, because there's 1 screw per hinge. Yeah, so I've lost my cat. We didn't do full tests because we knew we were going to lose her, so it didn't really matter what she died of, but we believe she had a kidney problem, which led to anemia. I knew something was wrong because she was very lethargic. Now it turns out the cats become very lethargic when they're ill, because by the nature of a cat, they are both hunters and prey. So while they need to be ferocious and then they go and hunt birds and whatever, at the same time they have to protect themselves from bigger prey. So the way, when they're ill, they don't want to send out signals that they're weak, because obviously all the good hunters, there you go, that's done, look. I'm happy with that. Looks like I'm going to have to continue this story on another on another video. Right, fix each hinge to the frame with a screw. These are black. This shows the 4 hinge. That's it. That is it. So let's have a quick look at issue 89, and I suspect this is exactly, it looks exactly the same, except obviously it's the other side. So there we go. So we already know what we're doing, so we don't need to, can you just go and sit down please, Mrs. So we know what we're doing, so I'm going to pop that somewhere safe and away from cats. So here is the offending monster at the moment. So yeah, so we'd lost Nymeria through what we suspect was a kidney problem, which led to anemia, and like I say, she'd been quite lethargic, and I knew something was wrong. It was just the circumstances, being that I'd just gone away for 3 weeks and my cat sitter had to take her to the vets, and it was I'm sitting there in London for 3 weeks with no closure, but I'd made the decision. I'd always said from day one, I've got experience looking after cats, but I haven't got experience looking after kittens, and I didn't know how different they would be. Obviously there's the obvious things like kittens need kitteny treatments, you know, they need kitten food, they need spading or neutering, they need their initial jabs, but then the initial jabs I don't think are any different from their annual jabs, and then obviously you've got to watch out for them because they're smaller. One thing Shadow used to do, but not so much, is he would run between your feet when you're walking down the hallway, especially if you've got a bowl of food in your hand, and as a result he would quite often accidentally get kicked where I'm walking and he's running, and he's soon learned how to run down the hall and not get kicked so much, so he hasn't been holding it against me. Now Nymeria had her character, as they do, which was completely different from Shadow, but you would expect that. For a start, they're not even the same sex. And then when I lost Nymeria, I said, that's it, I'm not getting another kitten. I think everybody who loses a pet says that anyway. Actually, it reminds me of a joke. Might be in bad taste given the circumstances. So my friend rings me up and she says she just lost her dog, and she said to me, I want another one just like it. And I said, what the hell are you going to do with 2 dead dogs? Very bad taste, I'm sorry. Yeah, so anyway, I'd said I'm not getting another cat. Well, I got home from London. Shadow comes down the hall. He just gives this heart-wrenching meow. It was like really long and really sad. It was as if to say, I don't know what to do with myself. I'm so lost and lonely, and I'm so glad you're here, and please don't ever leave me on my own. So after bursting into tears, I said, I'm going to have to get another kitten. But technically speaking, I did it all wrong. I had about 4 days to get them introduced, and do you know what, I did it, and I think it's mostly down to the nature of both cats. Shadow, I don't think Shadow's aggressive. He's more, rather than I want to hurt you, he's more I don't want to be hurt. So when I opened the cat carrier with a kitten, with an 8-week-old kitten, he hissed at it and he slapped it on the top of the head, claws in, sorry, just went like that on her head. And I think that was more, I am establishing, this is my house. This is not your house. You are going to be living here with me. And then after a day or two, they tolerated each other. All she wants to do is run around, explore and learn. And that's all she's doing. Now, Nymeria and Shadow used to play. They had a routine together. They would play in the morning and they would play in the evening. And they would just pretty much chill out during the day. And obviously Spirit wants to explore. Right, so I'm just putting this onto the frame. Exactly the same as the previous episode. Previous issue, sorry. So yeah, they would just establish themselves. But say I've been away for a few weeks. I've come home, and the routine seems to be a combination of the two. Spirit wants to play all day. She's happy to sleep at night. I think she's established bedtime. Having said that, I really don't know what they get up to when I'm asleep. They might be playing all night. Now, Spirit doesn't sleep on my bed, which I find strange. Shadow does, and Shadow is very, very good in that he never wakes me up during the night. But as soon as I get up in the morning, I call him and I say good morning, and he jumps up on my bed and we get a 5-minute fuss session. And this morning he wasn't around. Sometimes he's on my bed, sometimes he's not. But he wasn't on my bed this morning. I know he was in the kitchen. I'll tell you how I know. So I woke up, no cat. So I just shouted, good morning. And I heard this thud from the kitchen. So I know he was on the kitchen worktop. And then we came down and we had a session of good morning. And there are the two doors. Done. So let's have a look at the next issue, which is something. Door frame and closure bars. Ooh, that sounds interesting. So these are the parts. So again, they're not skimping on the parts. So yeah, we'll just do the parts check and I'll try and carry on with the story. I hope you guys don't mind me talking about stuff that's completely irrelevant to the Eddie Stobart. I know a lot of you guys are animal lovers. Right, so I can tell straight away these are metal and these are plastic. These don't need to be anything more than plastic. Why make something metal when it doesn't need to be anything more than plastic? Right, so we have got the right trailer door closure bar, and I think it's this one because we've got some detailing and we've got the handle going up. 2 is the top frame of trailer door. That's the silver piece. That is very, very heavy. Piece 3 is bottom frame of trailer door, and then we have the left trailer door closure bar. Then we've got some DP9s and some DP10s. So let's carry on. So we need to take the left door assembly from issue 88 and identify. That's the door with the E for Eddie on it. We need to identify 2 holes at the top of the side frame, so that will be there. Raised screw sockets on the end of the top steel frame fit into the holes. What holes? Is it this one? Sorry, identify 2 holes at the top of the side frame. Alright, this is definitely going along the top. Right, so that's going to go in like that, or like that, and that makes more sense because you've got a little bar. Right, okay, that's interesting. So that needs to be fixed in place with a DD9 screw. So this is, like any squares, this is going to be quite awkward. We've only got two sides of a box at the moment, so there's no support. It's going to be completely unsteady. But once you put the next side in, and then you put the next side in, and then the next side, once you get four sides in, you've got a square, and that will have some strength to it. Once you start turning that square into a box, it's going to be extremely rigid. So you could be forgiven for saying 2 screws isn't enough, but 2 screws here, 2 screws there. Right, so don't be tempted to pull that, but that's your door. So now we've got an idea of size, haven't we? Right, so now we need to put the green bar in the bottom, and again it's got that lip in it, so that's going to go in nice and simple. So again, it feels a little bit awkward because there's no support for the pieces, because now it's 3 sides of a square, which is marginally stronger than 2 sides, but not as strong as having 4 sides. So there we go. And I suspect we're going to be doing a rinse and repeat on the other side. There we go. So the door still operates nicely. Brilliant. So take the right door from the previous issue and fit the top and bottom. So yeah, we're rinsing and repeating. So that's going to go in like that. Perfect. Perfection. Right, so we're going to fix those with I haven't got enough DD09 screws. Yes, I have. So they've all got themselves stuck to the side of the screwdriver. I didn't think I had enough. Right, so what I'm going to do to make life easier for myself, I'm going to place 1 screw at the very, very bottom. Just in enough to bite, that will do. And then these are countersunk screws, by the way. And I'm going to place 1 at the very top. So obviously now that's going to make life so much easier. So I'm just going to get these third and fourth screws in, and then we'll tighten all of the screws up. So going back to the cat, Spirit is so different from Nymeria. I know she's younger and she's learning, and I won't say better different or worse different, but I've never known to, you would think a cat is a cat, wouldn't you? But I suppose it's like humans, isn't it? You could have 2 humans and they have completely different characters, and this Spirit is just so wonderful. But I kind of look at Shadow. I mean, he's not even a year old, and he's kind of aged in his attitude. He acts a bit of an old man at times. He has these moments of play, but then you'll see him sitting there almost with contempt at Spirit, and he's the old man, and all he wants is a pet. All he wants is for me to just give him a cuddle, and that's it. And you look at him, and 1 minute he's 6 months old, and the next minute he's 16 years. Right, so that's all in. So the next thing we want to do is take one of these bars, and we want the one, it's going to have a handle at the bottom pointing outwards. So that's going to go in something like that, and that's going to be screwed from the other side using DP10 screws, and there's quite a few of those. So let's get these out, which means sadly goodbye to the Webster screwdriver. So I'm guessing they've cheated on this. I will explain why in a minute. So let's get one screw in. That's holding that. Then we'll get the opposite screw in. And I'm going to pop it the same side. And then I'm going to pop the third screw in. It's got to be an easier way than this, Penny. Right, so supporting that from underneath, we are popping that third screw in. Right, so this is what I mean by cheating. On the actual truck, this bar, you'll have a kind of a stopper there, and you'll need to rotate that up, lift the handle up, and then turn it 90 degrees. And these have got like locking pins there, and then once you turn it, it works on the principle of that. Once you turn it, it goes like that, so you can pull it out. And then to lock it, what they've done is they've just made that a good fit, so that will just stay. So all we have to do is just pull it to get it open. How often we're going to be pulling that open is anyone's guess. Like most of our models, if anybody's completed a model, a part work model, I would like to know how much did you play with it and test out all the features, and for how long, and how much are you playing with that now. All these bells and whistles and lights are fantastic. Really, I don't think they're needed, because most of these, the amount of time and money you invest in these models, I think they become more ornamental pieces, don't they? My Terminator looks lovely. I don't switch him on much. The Spitfire I haven't finished, but that looks fantastic. But you know, I'm not even ever going to switch that one on because I know there's problems with it. The Route Master, I've got all the electronics working on that, but again, I never switch it on because it's just so expensive to repair if anything goes wrong. There we go, that's one door on, one door handle, so we know what's coming. We need to do the other one, and this is the last piece of work that we're going to be doing on this video, and we're going to do exactly the same as we did on the other handle. So topic, subject to talk about. The first subject I'm going to talk about is my need for wetness on the back of my throat. So a mouthful full of coffee, now I'm away again. So yeah, the only thing I can think of now is cats. I think I am definitely a crazy cat lady. Although my friend did ask me a very good question, and I will ask you the same question. How many cats do you need to own to become a crazy cat lady? Now I answered 6 or 7, and she said no, you need 1, because if you don't own any, you're just a crazy lady, aren't you? So I thought, yeah, spot on there. Right, this door seems to be quicker, possibly because I know what I'm doing. I'm not reading instructions so much, but it's like, how many have I done? My nose is getting a bit blocked, so I might sound a little bit bunged up. I'm still trying to shift the hay fever. I'm taking antihistamines, but I can only take one a day, and they do make me feel a little bit drowsy, so I tend to take them at night. And then during the day I'm using sinus sprays, and I don't really like to use them. My mother used them years ago, and it was like she was constantly using them, and the doctor said apparently they're addictive and they do bad things to the inside of your nose, so he did prescribe her something alternative. So I try not to use nasal sprays. I use them as a quick fix. You know, you're a bit bunged up, blow your nose, spray some sinus stuff up there. Right guys, that is finished. The only issue I've got, this door, although it holds, it doesn't feel as secure on this side. See, this actually sticks, whereas this, it lifts up no problems, but as you can see, it's not going to come open on its own. Right, so that is whatever issue I've been doing. Is it issue 90? Yeah, issue 90, door frame and closure bars. I am very happy with that. And I thought it was quite funny that on the last issue I said we're starting to get smaller pieces, and does that mean we're building up to something big? Well, that's 3 issues, and I would call that big. In fact, it's bigger than the cab. I didn't get the scale very well there, but trust me, that's a bit bigger than the cab. Right guys, so that's it. I'm calling it a day on that video. So I hope you've enjoyed the build. I certainly have, and I will hopefully catch you in the next video. Take care guys, bye bye.